bells. What an appetizing idea.
Attention first-time new car buyers. If you have never purchased a new car and you don't have any established credit and you don't have a down payment, see Sam Swope today and you'll be driving a new car tomorrow. Plus get 50 to 100% off all factory and dealer installed options. Plus get factory savings up to $2,200 or factory reduced sticker prices. Plus doorbuster specials. New 88 Grand Am, $89.99. New 88 Bonnieville LE, $11,979. But hurry, these incredible specials won't last forever. Sam Swope Pontiac, 4311 Shelbyville Road. Nobody walks away.
You give your all to all you do. Demand it all from your shampoo. Wash and go per plus.
You've got no time for fussy routines, no patience for less than the best. So for your hair, there's only one way to go. Pert Plus puts effective shampoo, full-strength conditioner, fantastic hair into one step.
Just one shampoo does it all for you. Wash and go.
With shampoo, conditioner in one.
Pert Plus.
Local schools compete on High Q today on Wave 3.
The Eddie Sutton Show with Rob Bromley. Brought to you in part by Ashland Oil, Valvoline Oil Company, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kentucky, the one you've always trusted for quality health care protection. Coca-Cola. In Kentucky, there are two great traditions, Coca-Cola Classic and the Cats. Golden Flake Snack Foods, one taste and you're stuck on Golden Flake. And by GTE.
The Coach Eddie Sutton Show, brought to you by First National Bank of Louisville, where you'll find the UK Visa and MasterCard. And by Hardee's, we're out to win you over.
Well, in a few simple words, the beat goes on for the Kentucky Wildcats. A week ago, it was the state of Mississippi, and this past week, it was the state of Alabama. Victories over Auburn and Alabama, and a little bit of help this week from the Georgia Bulldogs as they defeated Florida on Wednesday night down in Athens. And Kentucky now with an overall mark of 10-3 in the Southeastern Conference and 18-3 overall. Eddie, those aren't bad numbers at this stage of the season.
It was a good week for us, Rob. We avenged our earlier loss to Auburn Wednesday evening down at Auburn, 69-62. And yesterday, I thought our ball club in the first half probably played as well as we played all season. And we had an opportunity to play everyone. Everyone played at least 5 minutes, and that's always good. But our passing was so good yesterday. We had 24 assists in the ball game. Ed Davner took on a little different role and played the part of a great point guard, which he is, and dished out 10 assists. Winston Bennett had a great afternoon scoring 25 points. Eric Manuel came off the bench, played the part of a sixth person, and I was very pleased with the way we played in our contest with Alabama.
You made the comment, Eddie, I think it was after the Notre Dame ball game, you said, we look like a basketball team today after that Notre Dame ball game, and I think that's the way you've looked now over the past couple of weeks.
We won 5 ball games in a row, and we are playing better, Rob, and one of the reasons our shot selection has improved. We've continued to play well defensively. I'm still not very happy with our rebounding. Yesterday we gave up 19 offensive rebounds, and that's way too many to give up against a ball club like Alabama.
You stay right at the top of the SEC, and we're going to talk more about the Southeastern Conference race a little bit later on. But you've got to like the position that your team is in right now. You can control your own destiny.
We have 5 conference games left, and I told the squad after the ball game yesterday that if we win all 5 of them, they can't catch us. But we still got some tough games ahead. And, of course, we've got a tough week going to Tennessee, where it's been very difficult for Kentucky to win the past few years. I think we get a little bit of a break because we play in a new arena, and we don't have to go to Stokely. And any time you leave an arena like Stokely and go to a big facility, you lose a little bit of your home court advantage, just like the University of Kentucky did when they moved out of Memorial Coliseum and went to Rupp. And then, of course, the big shootout on Saturday down in Gainesville.
We're going to have highlights of the Alabama game coming up in just a moment. But right now, we'll take a step back in Kentucky basketball history. It has been 30 years since the Wildcats won that 1958 NCAA championship. The 58 team gave Adolph Rupp his 4th national title. They became known as the Fiddlin' Five. The Cats were not picked to win the championship that year, but in the title game, Kentucky won over Seattle 84-72. Ed Beck, a member of the 58 squad, spoke on the UK campus last week, and he recalled what it took to win the championship.
But one thing that a lot of people do forget and don't remember is that there were 9 of us that graduated. Now, there were 11 of us that came in and 2 had dropped by the wayside, but 9 of us had played together for 4 years. I could watch Adrian Smith when he played for the Cincinnati Royals 10 years later and know what he was going to do. There was just a sense of camaraderie and so forth. We had grown to care about each other and give to each other, and that came together, and we decided that we were going to go all the way. That's what Adolph Rupp said before the game. You know, he was wanting to give these great speeches, and he didn't. He just came in and he stood before us and he said, we're going to go all the way, aren't we? And we went out and we did.
Ed Beck, who was the 6'7" center on that 58 championship team. Vernon Hatton was on that squad. Johnny Cox, John Kriegler, Adrian Smith. Eddie, I know you can remember that year.
I certainly can. That was my senior year, and we were beaten by Kansas State for the right to go to Freedom Hall for the Final Four, and that was my last collegiate game against K-State. Temple was there, Seattle with the great Elgin Baylor. And the thing that I admire about that ball club, the more I've gotten to know those people, they were close. That is so important in athletics, and there was no selfishness on that ball club, and everyone understood their role, and those guys are still close today. Anyone that missed the opportunity to hear those stories about Mr. Ruff and Mr. Lancaster last week, and I know the weather prevented a lot of people from coming, but it was a marvelous evening, and I certainly enjoyed myself.
We've got highlights of the Alabama game coming up in just a moment, so stay with us. We'll be right back with that after this.
If you had all the experience of yesterday, with all the skill and innovation of today, you couldn't lose.
Edwin Moses, USA.
To look at these cards, you'd think the University of Kentucky was getting in the credit card business. Well, they are, sort of. Now, First National Bank is offering special Visa and MasterCards that make automatic contributions to university programs every time you use them. Apply at First National for your University of Kentucky Visa or MasterCard. Supporting UK is just that easy.
Rupp Arena Saturday afternoon, and the Wildcats are going up against the Alabama Crimson Tide. It has been kind of a tough year for Wimp Sanderson's team, but you mentioned a moment ago, Eddie, the role that Ed Davender played in this ball game. He took on kind of a different role, feeding off.
Our passing was so crisp in the first half, and he penetrated the pockets of the zone. Right here's a good example. Dished the ball off. And that's what happens when you make that defense collapse, and then you're able to kick it off to somebody wide open here again.
Pass went astray there, but Ed went in, got it in the basket.
Very early picked it up, and that was, I believe, his only field goal. He only shot it twice. Ended up with 4 points. He had 2 free throws off a technical foul by Coach Sanderson, who at the time was a little frustrated with his ball club. And if McKee was on their ball club this year, they'd have a good basketball team because they've got some outstanding young players.
Oh, you got some good play from Eric Manuel. There's LaRon Ellis scoring inside, and at that point you had a 12-point lead. It was 24-12.
When you have the best team, it's always good to get out in front of people, especially at home, and demoralize them early. And this ball club did this yesterday. We jumped up, and I think we had a 16-point lead fairly early in the contest.
Rex out ahead to Eric Manuel for the stuff.
He had 12 points in the first half and played outstanding basketball. He's not hurt, but I think he's a little frustrated, maybe a little embarrassed because he went in there and dunked the ball a little off balance. He said he hit his elbows on the
right
backboard.
there, he hit his elbow on the backboard.
Knocked him off balance. LaRon got 8 points in the ball game and played much better than he had in the last 2 games. Here's another shot of that dunk by Eric on a great pass by Rex Chapman. And
technical on Wimp Sanderson right at the start of the second half.
He told me before the ball game, he said, take it easy on us. And I said, Wimp, you're one of my best friends. We certainly will. I just hope we win the ball game. And our team really went out, and I, again, want to emphasize how well we played in that early part of the ball game. It got a little sloppy in the second half, but that happens many times when you get a sizable lead and you lose a little bit of your edge, you quit concentrating, you lose some intensity.
Well, you had a 42-28 lead at halftime, scored the first 9 of the second half. And a big play right here. Boom.
We'll taking a look at this. This is what we call Wildcat Special, and we set that up where we back screen for LaRon, and good pass by Winston Bennett. And he has great hands. Not very many players can go up with their offhand, their left hand like it is for LaRon, and gather the ball in when he's running full speed and dunk the basketball.
Then LaRon put one up from outside and hit it.
But he's a good shooter from this range, from the free throw line.
And you pulled out as Winston had a big day. Looked for a while there as though he was going to go for a career high. Did not quite get to it. I think his career high is 28.
He had 25 points, 9 out of 14 from the field, 7 out of 8 at the line, and 9 rebounds. A great afternoon, no turnovers, 2 assists. He has been our most consistent performer all year.
Richard Madison getting loose down court for a stuff. You were up 68-44. In the closing minutes, Alabama closed the gap down, and look at a fine shot here by Rex on the double pump.
Rex has great ability to hang in the air and control his body and still be able to get the shot off. The only 2 things I was disappointed in the game yesterday, too many offensive rebounds on the part of Alabama and our free throw shooting, but we shot free throws so well this year that I can't say anything about that, but we only shot 67% at the line.
All right, the final score, Kentucky 82, Alabama 68, and the Wildcats remain right at the top of the SEC standings. Coming up in a moment, we'll turn to the radio side of things. A lot of talk shows and a lot of talk about Kentucky basketball over the airwaves. We'll be back with that in a moment.
Cocologists. Waiting for the show? Uh-oh. I see the P word. So listen to this. Next time, reach for a Coke. Become a Cocologist. What are you waiting for? Catch the wave. Coke.
This is Joe Hall. Win 2 season tickets to next year's UK basketball and a home entertainment center. Details and a Druthers coupon on 12-pack cans of Coca-Cola.
2 years ago, this car was the most important thing in Joey's life. He spent every dime he had on it, even quit high school to get a job so he could have the hottest ride in town. Today, the job is gone, the car doesn't work anymore, and without a high school diploma, neither does Joey. Ashland Oil urges you to keep your children in school. It's the surest ride to success.
After you decide to buy a home, after you decide where you want to live, and after you find the house that you love and finally agree that this is everything you want, after you do all of that, you'll more than likely need help with the financing. You'll need a loan. Well, we can't help you decide what you like, but we can help you with a loan you can live with, or the house you can't live without.
Never before has so much technology been applied to the marriage of meat and bun.
You can cut the time it takes to make a burger. You can cut the time it takes to cook one. And in the end, you can cut the heart right out of a burger. All in the name of good business. Well, at Hardee's, we put a little extra care into each hamburger we serve, so we can make this cut in the name of good taste. Because at Hardee's, we're out to win you over.
What do Kentucky fans do when the Cats aren't playing? Well, they look back at the last ball game and look ahead to the next one. Dave Baker tells us how.
If there's one thing people like better than watching Kentucky basketball, it's talking about it. And boy, do they have plenty of opportunities to do that now.
Hello, everybody. This is Keywood Ledford, and this is Eddie Sutton's Big Blue Line. For the next hour, the Kentucky head basketball coach is here to talk with you. Give us a call.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of Catspaw Sports Hotline. Oscar Combs here with co-host Earl Cox. We have phone lines open at 253-5959.
253-5959, our number. Kevin, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, Kevin.
This whole talk show phenomena began in the mid-'70s when Ralph Hacker and Jim Jordan at WVLK Radio in Lexington came up with the idea for the Big Blue Line. Kentucky's basketball and football coaches taking calls and answering questions.
Gave the guy in Middlesboro, Kentucky, or Paducah, Kentucky, or Fulton, Kentucky, or Pikeville, or Hazard, who never gets to see or talk to the head football or basketball coach at the University of Kentucky, an opportunity to pick up the telephone on Thursday nights, dial a number, and talk directly to the coach, unscreened.
Coach Sutton, I'd like to make a comment and a suggestion.
Coach Sutton?
Yes, sir.
I'm Blackaby, right out of here, out of Nashville, Tennessee, and Murfreesboro, Tennessee. How you doing?
Go ahead, please. You're on the air.
Yes, this is Tony calling from Lexington.
Probably at least half of those people